Can you all remain standing for a moment of silent prayer and meditation? Thank you. We may all be seated. Let me take this opportunity to greet and welcome our Honorable Premier, who has joined virtually, but he will be here physically shortly. MEC, all MECs in the House, as well as those that have joined virtually, members of the Provincial Legislature, leaders of political parties, citizens of Gauteng, our guest, who are here, the guest of Honorable MEC for Finance, Honorable Mamabulo, but we are also encouraged when our stakeholders have an interest in the affairs of the legislature. And I'm sure you will all understand that we do have the rules that govern the conduct of members, but also the rules that govern stakeholders that are attending our sittings, because sittings are sittings of members. Guests are only here to observe. So there will be basic rules that we'll have to observe. Can I also include an evacuation plan for House sittings? In the event there's an emergency, and if there's an emergency, you'll hear an emergency alarm. When you hear the emergency alarm, please make it a point that you become calm. The Sergeant at Arms, together with the service officers, will assist all honorable members and our visitors to evacuate the House through the nearest exit. And the guests in the auditorium will be assisted by the evacuation wardens in order for them to exit. And the closest exit from the House and auditorium is the red carpet stairs leading out to Risick Street. Do not panic, stay calm all the time. Do not use the lift, only use the stairs, but you'll be ushered out. Thank you very much. Those are the basic rules that we normally read when we have visitors. In terms of apologies, I know that we receive apologies for members who indicated that they're going to join virtually. We'll just note them, because joining virtually means you are in a meeting. Only one apology that has been received for a member who's not going to be here, as she is preparing for the rite of passage as a traditional healer, Honorable Machene, and we wish her all the best in her journey. Thank you very much. You are all welcome. Today we'll be swearing in 2 members. They will be ushered in by the service officers. Can we allow them to come in? All of a sudden it's dark. We can't even take pictures. Ms. Ntabiseng Christopher Mosito, I hope you understand why you are here. What we will do, you will read an oath of a member, as I'm told that, and I'm told that you're going to be doing an oath. You will read through, and when you are done, you raise your right hand and say, "So help me God." Can we switch on the mic for Thabiseng?
I,
Michael
Thabiseng
Moriarty.
Christophora Musito,
One at a time. Okay.
I, Thabiseng Christophora Musito, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, respect, and uphold the Constitution and all other laws of the Republic. And I solemnly promise to perform my functions as a member of legislature of the province of Gauteng to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Thank you. Before we sign, let's also do for Mr. Moriarty, so that we do it all at once.
I, Michael Moriarty, swear that I will be faithful to the Republic of South Africa and will obey, respect and uphold the Constitution and all other laws of the Republic, and I solemnly promise to perform my functions as a member of the legislature of the province of Gauteng to the best of my ability. So help me God.
Thank you very much. I hope you all know. I hope you all know that this is not just a recitation, but it should be internalized so that we obey the rules of South Africa. I now wish to officially declare that in Thabiseng, Honorable Mfikwe, don't disturb in Thabiseng, please. Honorable members, please. Deputy Chief of the ANC, you are wasting time there. Deputy Chief Whip of the ANC, can you sit down, please? Thank you. Sis Togo. I wish to officially declare Thabiseng Christophora Musito as an honorable member of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature effectively from today. I also wish to declare Honorable Michael Moriarty as an honorable member. Welcome back, Mike. As an official member of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature once more. Thank you very much. We can all welcome them by clapping of hands. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Mr. Moriarty and Tabise.
I'm sure you have been briefed what needs to be done after the sitting, both of you. Thank you very much. Can I check if is there any member who wants to do an announcement? Honourable members, why are you disturbing Tabisen? No, but you're all making noise. And she's been confused. No, there are there's a chief whip and a deputy chief whip that must actually assist her, not all of us, please, because we're delaying the sitting. Thank you. Is there a member who wants to do an announcement? No announcements? Thank you. In terms of Rule 79, subsection 1, MEC statements, we don't have any. Member statement in terms of Rule 81, subsection 1, starting with Honourable Dilange, who has joined virtually. Honourable Dilange.
Morning, Speaker. May I ask to be excused from this member statement, please?
Honourable Dilange, we can't hear you.
Speaker, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
May I be excused, pardoned from this member's declaration? I'll see the next round.
Okay. Honourable Diaga.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It is with great sadness that we have to learn of another senseless suicide of a grade 6 learner at Keglegile Primary School in Thokoza. Sibusiso Mbata was 12 years old. He took his own life after allegedly being bullied by a teacher. It is further alleged that the teacher told Sibusiso that he should not bring his gay tendencies to the school. Whether Sibusiso was gay or not is not the question. It is the insensitivity of some teachers entrusted with our children that must be dealt with and condemned in the strongest of terms. The Democratic Alliance has been calling on ongoing sensitivity training for those people working in the social cluster, particularly those who work with LGBTIQA+ community. In the recognition of the challenges that this community faces on a daily basis, we even submitted a motion for the establishment of a subcommittee to deal with issues that the community faces on a daily basis. Being gay is not a choice. It is just the reality of who a person is. Feeling safe and secure is not a privilege, but a constitutional right. How can anybody be so insensitive as to suggest that the issues of a member of the LGBTQIA+ community can be represented by a men's forum or a women's forum? The very people who are often the bullies of this community and who need to be educated. How many more Sibusisos must die before this government will hear the plight of the gay community and address the discrimination and bullying they are faced with on a daily basis? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Msimanga.
Madam Speaker, we are currently commemorating the 16 days of activism of no violence against women and children. This should not only be the 16 days in a year, but should be 365 for the rest of our life. We should not only be addressing gender-based violence from the 25th of November to the 10th of December, but we should be addressing this throughout the year. And we, as men especially, we must stand and say, not in my name. On Friday, we held a picket outside the Moroka police station. A total of 2,096 cases of rape have been reported in this province for the second quarter of 2023. Moroka police station is one of the stations that has the highest report case of the reported number of cases of GBV and rape. more specifically, standing at 54. There are a number of concerning, and these numbers are concerning are in all likelihood not a true reflection of the number of rapes and other forms of GBV in the province. Having visited this police station, I've seen firsthand how the rape victims can actually be victimized second time when they're reporting these cases due to the lack of facilities when they go to the police stations, due to the lack of care in some of the police stations, due to the fact that sometimes when they go and report these cases, they are told they can only see a social worker the following week as a social worker will not be available. Far too often we hear of stories from victims of GBV that are too scared to report such cases at our police station for fear of being victimized and traumatized the second time around, as I said. Police stations across this province must be adequately equipped with all the resources needed to clamp down on GBV. We cannot just be talking about the 16 days of activism, erect marquees, give people T-shirts, and yet not really put resources to fighting this scourge in our communities. Moroka Police Station still does not have a proper victim empowerment center. The one that they had that was burned down and has not been fixed up to so far. And as the DA, we will continue to ensure, and we call on others to ensure that we fight for the rights of our residents who fall prey to GBV. We will continue to lobby for police stations to have police officers who are trained to handle cases of GBV, and for all police stations to have a fully functioning victim center or victim empowerment center. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Modise.
Madam Speaker, in terms of Rule 81, subsection 1, I tabled the following member statement on corruption. Premier, even though we all know that no one will ever command any battalion under the banner of EFF, even though we know that no one will ever lead any self-defense unit as an EFF member, we, however, forgive EFF members to refer to an individual with no recognized military training as a commander-in-chief. Speaker, as part of its window dressing, the leadership of EFF have made serious noise that they don't stand for corruption and that any of their members found in any corrupt activity will be dealt with immediately. Unfortunately, this is meant only for those who don't have political proximity to leadership. Here in this House, we have EFF members who practice corruption in the face of the branch, the region, province, and national leadership. And the EFF leadership continue to turn a blind eye on the basis of his political proximity. We have a member of the EFF in this House who has been earning monthly salary and yet not lifting a finger.
Honorable Masoleng, please.
Here in this House, we have an EFF member who practiced corruption in the face of the branch, region, province, and national leadership. And the EFF leadership continue to turn a blind eye on the basis of his political proximity. We have a member of this House who has been earning a monthly salary and yet not lifting a finger towards ensuring the work of the legislature find expression in his area of deployment. This EFF member takes the taxpayers' money to attend to EFF responsibilities while taxpayers find no joy from him. If this is not corruption, then clearly the EFF don't know what is corruption. Or like I indicated earlier, to them fighting corruption is just window dressing. With this statement, we dare the EFF leadership to deal with this decisively with this glaring corruption, unless, of course, you need political proximity to avoid accountability. We challenge the EFF to attend to this matter as in yesterday. People of Gauteng deserve better. Let the EFF practice what it preached just this once without any usual rhetoric. I thank you.
Honorable Modise, because you are mentioning a member who's not attending any sittings and that person is deriving salary, we will have an interest. We do have the rules and the ethics committee that must actually investigate that particular matter. So if you can bring all the information through the office of the Speaker so that we can follow through. Thank you very much. Can we also allow Honorable Makubela to present a motion without notice in terms of Rule 120?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and presiding officers. I, Member L.E. Makubela, the ANC Chief Whip, hereby tables the following motion in terms of Rule 121 and 122 as follows. Noting that a special sitting was programmed for Friday, the 1st of December 2023, I therefore request that the House resolves to remove the sitting from the programming of Friday, the 1st of December, from the fourth term program. I so move. Thank you very much.
Any seconder to the motion? Honorable Malima.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I rise to second. Thank you.
I now put a question. All those in favor say yes. All not in favor say no. The yes have it. The motion is adopted by the House. Can I check if is there a member who wants to give notice of a motion in terms of Rule 121? There is none. Thank you very much. I'm now going to call upon the Secretary to read the first order.
Introduction of the Gauteng Provincial Adjustment Appropriation Bill G003-2023 for the 2023-2024 financial year and the medium-term budget policy statement MTBPS for the 2023-2024 financial year.
Honorable Mamabulo.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker and Deputy Speaker, Premier Panyaza Lesufi, fellow members of the Executive Council, Chief Whip of the Majority Party, leaders of political parties, members of the Provincial Legislature. Let me also extend a special greeting to Honorable Malema, the Chairperson of the Finance Committee. Let me acknowledge the presence of all MMCs of Finance that are present, my colleagues who are helping us to manage the public funds in the province, all councillors who are present. Let me also take the opportunity to acknowledge our Director General in the province, who I know is out of the country but is on the virtual platforms. Let me greet our HOD and of course the CEO of GIFA, the representatives from the Auditors General. I know that Mr. Cebekulu is with us here and his team. Let me also greet all senior government officials and those from municipalities, all representatives of business, of organized labor, civil society, distinguished guests, comrades, and friends. Honorable members, we are presenting the medium-term budget policy statement, MTBPS, at a time when the country is observing the 2023 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children campaign, which was launched on Saturday, the 25th of November, under the theme, Accelerating Actions to End Gender-Based Violence and Femicide, Leaving No One Behind. Having said that, let us make a call on raising awareness on the devastating impact that gender-based violence and femicide has on women and children and the social fabric of our society. In just a few days, we will be observing World AIDS Day on the 1st of December, which will be followed by the International Day for Persons with Disabilities on December the 3rd. Madam Speaker, I'm honored today to present to this House the 5th and final medium-term budget policy statement of the 6th administration under the most inspiring and capable leadership of our Honorable Premier, Panyaza Lesufi. Let me start by tabling the following documents for consideration. The medium-term budget policy statement 2023, the adjusted estimates of provincial revenue and expenditure 2023, the adjusted estimates of capital expenditure 2023, and of course, I will also hand over the copy of the speech. Let me say that in the context of many socio-economic challenges before us, preparation of this 2023 MTBPS and the adjustment budget has been a formidable task. In other words, it was not easy to put this one together. This is because, Madam Speaker, we're presenting the 2023 Gauteng MTBPS in a global and domestic macroeconomic environment that has been correctly summed up by the Honorable Minister of Finance, Mr. Enoch Godongwana. When tabling the national MTBPS to Parliament earlier this month, the Minister of Finance told us that the economic outlook for 2023 has worsened, mainly due to, amongst other things, the damaging impact of intense load shedding, persistent domestic logistical constraints, lower commodity prices, and subdued global demand. The weaker growth outlook for China, South Africa's largest trading partner, the lower commodity prices, and the risk that the US interest rates will remain higher for longer means the global economic environment is less supportive of South Africa's growth prospects. As a result, gross domestic product is projected to slow from 1.9% in 2022 to 0.8% in 2023. The minister summed up the elevated risks to the fiscus when he said, open quote, our public finances are significantly weaker, close quote. Honourable members, without any shade of doubt, this paints a gloomy picture for our fiscus. Also contributing to the complexity of analyzing our economic outlook are the two recently released reports on the state of our country. The very first being the economic cost of crime, safety first, the economic cost of crime in South Africa. This is a report that came from the World Bank and stated that crime is currently costing the country more than 10% of its GDP per year. The second report was issued by Harvard University with the title, Growth Through Inclusion in South Africa. This report stated that poor performance of the South African economy can be attributed to the collapse of state capacity and the overburdening of state organizations. Honourable members, we believe that the full story about the elevated risks and threats to the economy and the fiscus has been adequately told, and therefore there is no need at all to belabor the point any further. In other words, the point has been made and has been made adequately so. It is for this reason that we believe, given our position as the economic hub of the country and the leading contributor to GDP, Gauteng 2023 MTBPS should focus on three key areas. And I can say because there are three only, so I won't take time, Honourable Premier. The very first one, we want to look at the growth trajectory of the Gauteng economy based on Growing Gauteng Together 2030 and the elevated priorities. In other words, we'd like to tell the growth story of our province. Secondly, we would like to look at the revenue growth of the Gauteng provincial government to build sustainable fiscus as we are directed by the Public Finance Management Act. And very lastly, we will then share with you, honorable members, the actual figures, the rents and cents, of the adjustments to the current budget that we tabled in March this year. Honorable members, having said that, therefore allow me to share with you the growth trajectory of Gauteng's economy. In other words, let us take you through the journey of how we are going to grow the economy of Gauteng in the adjustment period. This, we believe, can only ignite a sense of hope amongst residents of our province. Madam Speaker, based on the recent census conducted by Stats SA in 2022, the South African population has grown, to 62 million people, increasing from 51.8 million in 2011, with Gauteng maintaining its position as the most populous province with 15 million residents. According to Stats SA, our province contributed 1.42 trillion to South Africa's GDP of 4.16 trillion in 2022. In other words, the province was responsible for 33 rands out of every 100 rands the South African economy produced. The Gauteng economy is primarily driven by finance, the real estate, and business services sectors, as well as the transport and communication industry. It is important to note that as we gather here today, the economy of Gauteng is larger than the economies of KwaZulu-Natal and that of the Western Cape combined. And I'd like to say to you, honorable members, I do hear some people dreaming daylight, but also with some really wild dreams that they want to build an economy bigger than Gauteng. I think we must say to them they'll have to build either the economy of KZN first or build the economy of the Western Cape first, with the economy of Gauteng stagnant and not growing. Then perhaps they can have the hope. But we are very much proud that this province remains the leading economy of the country. As the economic hub, Gauteng, you can hear where the voices are coming from. As the economic hub, Gauteng is an important channel for the transportation of goods to the rest of the country. We are a gateway to the rest of the African continent and the global export markets. In the period between 1995 and 2022, this province accounted for the largest share of the country's exports. On average, Gauteng exports as a share of total South African exports was 61.1%. In 2022, the share was 71.3%, the most significant for the province since 1995. Much of South Africa's exports of manufactured goods are also purchased by other African countries. Manufacturing is another industry which Gauteng accounts for a significant share of. Therefore, if the African economy performs well, demands for Gauteng exports will likely grow. That is why we are excited about the opportunities presented by the African Continental Free Trade Area to boost trade and economic growth. We believe that the deep integration that AfCFTA offers promises will build resilience and lower the barriers that currently impede economic growth in our continent. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, much of South Africa's finance and business service industry is concentrated right here in our province. Exports of services like banking services are accounting for a growing share of global trade due to digitization. South Africa already exports banking services to the rest of Africa. As the continental economy grows, Africa's need for banking services expands, which increases the market for Gauteng's digital services. It therefore comes as no surprise that Gauteng is currently regarded as the premier destination for employment opportunities, as confirmed by Stats SA. I would have wished to repeat that point. However, while the Gauteng economy is growing, it is at a slower pace than in the previous, in the current quarter, is slowing in the previous quarter. Gauteng economy is estimated to have grown by approximately 0.6% during quarter 2, 2023, following at 0.8% growth in quarter 1 in 2023. These are just quarter, it can still adjust. Furthermore, the economic barometer, which is a very important organ that we have in the province, in the department, published by Department of Economic Development, states that 6 out of 10 sectors that are estimated to have experienced positive growth in the second quarter of 2023. Meanwhile, mining, quarrying activity is estimated to have continued strong, while agriculture rebounded strongly in the first quarter of 2023. On the jobs front, unemployment rate for the youth in Gauteng decreased by 0.8 percentage points from 48.91% to 48.09%. According to our economic barometer, young people, especially women, remain the most vulnerable cohort in the labor market in Gauteng. Youth unemployment in Gauteng is, of course, a challenge that limits the earning potential of our youth, business growth, and threatens social cohesion. Honorable members, while the unemployment rate is proving to be complex, I must say that I'm deeply delighted and very much pleased to announce that the most unprecedented, most decisive initiative of the Gauteng Provincial Government's job program, popularly known and of course also formally known as NASISPANI, is already making a huge impact in addressing NASISPANI Premier. It's already making a huge impact on addressing the unemployment rate in the province, especially amongst the youth in our province. Honorable members, one of the strongest potential and key areas of focus is our continued support on small, medium, and micro enterprises, SMMEs, especially women and youth entrepreneurs in the townships. Gauteng remains the only province that has passed the Township Economic Development Act, TEDA, which prioritizes economic development of township entrepreneurs. Honorable members, there's no other province except us that is focused on this task. I'm very much pleased to announce that one of the key achievements is that the Gauteng Provincial Government has teamed up with Uber Eats SA to create job opportunities for young people in the province. The collaboration involves an investment of over 200 million from Uber Eats SA and the Gauteng Department of Economic Development to create 2,000 jobs for delivery personnel and add 700 more restaurants to the platform. Thank you, MEC Mutara. Thank you very much. In total, the program will result in 10,000 people being placed in jobs in our province. We also crisscrossed the province over the past 4 years, registering township businesses on the central supplier database and enable them to access opportunities in the public sector. Through these efforts, we have significantly increased the number of companies registered on the CSD. Then we spent more than 12.7 billion of provincial resources procuring goods and services from these township enterprises. Madam Speaker, this shows that through the township SMME support, liquidity and cash inflows into the township enterprises and households, especially amongst the most vulnerable individuals, such as the youth, women, and people with disability, we are without doubt eradicating poverty, eradicating inequalities and unemployment. Honourable members, having summed up the positive achievements and successes of the Gauteng economy, let me share with you some of the adjusted interventions leading to the next budget in 2024, and of course, as we conclude our term. In other words, this will receive financial support in the adjustment budget, and I'll come to that later in the remaining period of this financial year. It is also important to mention that these adjusted interventions will also serve to plant the seed and lay the basis for sustainable economic development. Madam Speaker, the initiatives we are announcing as adjusted interventions to grow the economy calls for all of us to make a positive contribution and put a brick to build the economy of the province. As a province that gives concrete and practical meaning to the golden principle from our very country's constitution, that principle of unity in diversity, thus making us a culturally diverse province, or as our Matthias call it, the Rainbow Nation, it is very, very much important that we build an economy that can only serve to unite the diverse nation, the Rainbow Nation. Failure to put a brick to build carries the elevated risk of imploding the Rainbow Nation instead of harmonizing it. Only by increasing the 35% of GDP contribution can we achieve this objective. Madam Speaker, the Gauteng provincial government has entered into an agreement with City Power, an entity of the City of Joburg Metropolitan Municipality, and have already concluded a memorandum of understanding for City Power to act as the implementing agent in providing residents of the province with power generation solutions to improve the non- and off-grid solutions, such as leveraging renewable technology. I'm very much pleased to say to you, honourable members, that both the chairperson of City Power and the CEO are in the house, and I hope I'm right. They are there. They are there. They are there. They are there. Honourable members, thank you very much. Thank you very much. On that note, cheers, honourable members. On the City Power note, cheers, Chair and CEO. Now, honourable members, as part of this MOU, we are also seeking to support infrastructure systems to ensure a stable supply of water, which is also dependent on and get affected by disruptions in power supply. Furthermore, as part of our effort to ensure that our support to energy and water infrastructure is implemented efficiently and effectively, we will be appointing a transaction advisor to assist us with technical skills to determine the feasibility, viability, and cost effectiveness of City Power's proposed solutions. I just want to say to the Chair and CEO that we will be visiting you a day after tomorrow. We trust you, but we just need to do a bit of oversight on our part. And that's what it means, just check a bit. But we trust you. Let me confirm that. Honourable members, once we have received this professional advice, and of course working with City Power, we can determine the next steps. And I can assure you that the Premier of the province, when he delivers the State of the Province address, will talk to this issue quite comprehensively. The Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development is also leading our initiatives in our province for rooftop solutions, particularly focusing on government facilities, but with immediate focus on our health facilities to ensure undisrupted service delivery. There is no doubt that energy and water infrastructure remain critical to boost positive investor sentiment and to grow the economy. Madam Speaker, it is an established fact that infrastructure delivery in the medium to long term enable investments and guarantee sustainable economic development. The provincial infrastructure budget is adjusted upwards from 12.1 billion to 12.3 billion after effecting the conditional grant cuts. The upward adjustment is mainly driven by the Department of Roads and Transport based on performance to date, and this includes an amount of 280 million allocated for the rehabilitation, maintenance of roads located in Emfuleni local municipality, and we're talking about 41 roads, honorable members, in Emfuleni. And would like to congratulate the MEC of the department, MEC Diale Tabela, for this very excellent work they are doing. 41 more roads. We have done 21. We are now going to do more. 41 as part of our interventions to support Emfuleni. Let me also just say to you, honorable members, we have also approved for Emfuleni the money to build the taxi rank and, of course, to also conclude the DLTC. So this is yet another intervention we're taking to Emfuleni. Honorable members, we will be adjusting our delivery process by establishing within the Gauteng Provincial Treasury the Infrastructure Finance Lab as an oversight technical capability to monitor financial performance of infrastructure with a focus on value for money to avoid fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Already in this period, we are conducting a serious cleanup of the book that you know we call it, which we present before this House, known as the Estimates of Capital Expenditure. This is to ensure that we do not put before this House projects that have no potential of being completed in time and within cost, including those projects that are perpetually brought before this House year after year without completion. It is important that we end the practice of bringing projects before the House that are already, some of them aging, sitting in the ECE booklets, even surpassing the term of office of any administration. We are streamlining our enterprise development initiatives, including enhancing contract management capabilities, working with different partners. This is very important, honorable members. As part of improving our capacity for acquiring infrastructure in the province, we are repositioning the role of the Gauteng Infrastructure Financing Agency, GIFA, to use the design and build model in accelerating the procurement and implementation of infrastructure. This is a very major shift in how we want to deal with infrastructure. Through this model, GIFA, working with the Gauteng Department of Education, is now finalizing the procurement of developers for the construction of the 18 schools across the province. As you know, about 1.5 billion of those. And Premier, I can say to you and the members, in the new year, I'm sure you'll be cutting, doing sort turning. For this program, it is at an advanced stage. In addition, GIFA will be given a special mandate for the acquisition of strategic properties for special space requirements within Gauteng province. These needs will include healthcare, education, office accommodation, and other requirements as dictated by user departments from time to time. Let me also take this opportunity to report that in our last 2 meetings with members of the Mayoral Committee, MMCs of Finance in this province, with massive evidence provided by National Treasury, it is clear that municipalities in Gauteng are also struggling with the same problem of perpetual inability to spend infrastructure budgets. And my colleagues will agree, we have discussed this issue quite extensively. Honorable members, failure to spend money on energy, water, roads and water management systems, such as stormwater, drainage system, only serve to deter and push back investors. We have agreed with our municipalities that spending money on infrastructure, but also including the quality of spending on infrastructure, is the best way to sustain Gauteng as the economic hub of the country. Those municipalities not spending their infrastructure money are pulling down the rest of the province and are perpetuating the poor investment drive that is critical for job creation. I hope my colleagues understand, as per our discussions, the point we are emphasizing. Madam Speaker, during the launch of the Chief Financial Officers Roundtable between the Provincial Treasury And of course, I must thank MEC Mutara who joined and participated. And of course, the private sector CFOs, represented by the Chartered Institute of Business Accountants, SIVA, Standard Bank, and the Chartered Institute of Government Finance Audit and Risk Officers, otherwise known as SIGFARO, in September 2023. It was emphasized and overemphasized that good governance and well-managed public institutions have a great potential to enhance investor confidence and grow our GDP. We are therefore pleased to announce that as part of this CFO roundtable, just tomorrow, Wednesday, 29th November 2023, Honorable Premier, we will be receiving signed pledges by the private sector CFOs as a gesture of confidence in this province. They will be signing and saying they have confidence in Gauteng province tomorrow. We are very much pleased about that. We are also pleased to announce that the Gauteng provincial government has significantly improved audit outcomes for the previous financial year, with most departments and entities either sustaining or receiving clean audits, and with many others improving their audit outcomes. We congratulate all our departments, and thanks to MECs and HODs, and thanks to you, Honorable Premier. We would like to assure the people of the province that public finances and our institutions in this province are in good hands. If you don't believe us, read our audit outcomes. Public finances and our institutions are in good hands, and the audit outcomes have confirmed that. Having said that, we are concerned about the deteriorating audit environment in our municipalities. In our engagements with municipalities, we have agreed to introduce the principle of interim financial statements as the best way to improve and to focus our municipalities on clean audit outcomes. This is a very important intervention. Municipalities have agreed to introduce interim financial audits, and they said they are ready to start in February next year. We will be waiting to see if they will meet this commitment. The AG is very much pleased about this commitment to do interim financial statements. We are looking forward to all our municipalities introducing financial statements, interim statements, as I've already said. We hope and we believe they will keep to the commitment. We have also agreed that as part of good governance, all our municipalities should, as a matter of urgency, appoint chief financial officers. Honorable members, good governance requires stable leadership. Financial officers are critical in audit outcomes. I can share with you that Mfuleni is currently interviewing, will soon announce a CFO. Lesedi will soon announce a CFO, and of course other municipalities. We also commend those municipalities that have applied for Eskom's debt relief program, and we will be supporting them to make sure that they manage their finances better. It is anticipated that this will facilitate, of course, restore financial best practice and could free some revenue in the municipalities owing to Eskom to be able to maintain their current bulk accounts and, of course, provide a reliable basic level of services. Honorable members, in our engagement with the MMCs of Finance at the Roundtable, cutting red tape in municipalities carries a great potential to improve investor sentiment and make it easier to do business in municipalities. I'm pleased to announce that Gauteng Provincial Treasury commissioned a project to analyze the details of improving red tape in municipalities. We are interested in the details, such as the number of days it takes for certain municipal approvals to be made. That is turnaround times, either in days, weeks, or months it takes to conclude certain compliance with municipal laws affecting the investment space in our municipalities. Once Gauteng Provincial Treasury completes the baseline assessments on the ease of doing business in our municipalities, we will embark on a wider consultation with MMCs of Finance, with COGTA in the province, and of course my colleague, MEC Mzila Khumalo. We will then decide on a pilot program on how to cut red tape to enable investment in our municipalities. Without preempting the conversations on this matter, one of the best practices that could be introduced is that of a concierge of business support services in municipalities to promote the ease of doing business, including leveraging smart technologies in this regard. We believe this can only provide the comfort of ease of doing business for our investors. We strongly believe that promoting investment in municipalities is not only critical to growing the economy, but to build a sustainable revenue base for municipalities. Investments in real estates, manufacturing plants, automotive plants, residential properties, industrial parks, just to mention but a few, are critical for financial sustainability of municipalities. It is important that municipalities be deliberate in promoting positive investor sentiment. Anything that harms investor confidence must be discouraged at all costs. Now, honorable members, let me go to a very important part of this speech, which is about our revenue strategy. Now, given the increased constraint in the fiscus, and of course resulting from fiscal consolidation measures, means that it has become more important to seek alternative sources of funding to ensure that we maintain spending on key priorities and projects of the provincial government. Today, we are very much pleased to report to this House that our own revenue enhancement efforts during the current administration, from 2019 until the end of the second quarter of the current financial year, have resulted in us collecting a cumulative total of 32 billion rands over the period. 32 billion. There's no province anywhere in this country that collects that money. We are the only province that collects this total amount of revenue. This is a remarkable effort that set us on a path to finish strong, taking into consideration that it was even achieved during the period characterized by the global health emergency of COVID-19 pandemic and the severe energy crisis. In recognition of the increasing imperative to do more with less resources, given the in-year cuts on conditional grants and even more deeper cuts on equitable share in the 2024 medium-term period, revenue collecting departments must intensify revenue enhancement efforts and explore alternative sources of revenue. Therefore, we are currently working with the departments and our municipalities to enhance our own revenue collection in the province by implementing the following initiatives. The very first one, honorable members, we seek to enhance banking initiatives for revenue collected to ensure motor vehicle license revenue collected is immediately deposited and reflected into the provincial government fiscus. For example, there are certain departments, municipalities that are still owing us money, like the city of Tshwane, they're not surrendering it. We will pilot DLTCs where the Department of Road and Transport, in partnership with the Road Traffic Management Corporation, allow at the outer fall offices and Gautrain Management Agency, GMA, at Centurion, Midrand, and Sandton to offer services including driver license testing, renewals, professional driver permits. Smart DLTC expansion entails the expansion of smart DLTCs to 65 licensing sites in Tshwane, Ekurhuleni, Joburg, Sedibeng, West Rand to improve service delivery in the Tish areas. New casino regulations, it's also about transitioning from a flat tax structure regime of 9% to a proposed flexible sliding scale tax structure ranging from 8 to 15% applied to gross gaming revenue levels. Let me also say, honorable members, Premier, the new bingo licenses with the Gauteng Gambling Board and has issued about 9 of them as part of a strategy to infuse transformation in the industry by introducing new players from previously disadvantaged groups, and secondly, as a form of revenue enhancement strategy. I'd like honorable members to allow me to say, and to MEC Mutara, that we have received the estimates of revenue that we can get from the Gambling Board. And I must say that we are very much encouraged by what the gambling board is projecting. We have decided not to put the figures here. We want to engage MEC Mutare and the team to look at these figures because they are very exciting, Honorable Premier. They are going to help us. In the next budget, we will announce with MEC Mutare how much we will get, but I can say to you it's it looks quite good, it's going to help us. Now, another intervention that we are looking at is the e-commerce cashless rollout that allows liquor traders to view their bills electronically and make payments online through a mobile payment application. Honorable members, one of the risks to our fiscus, which is becoming even more pronounced, is that of resolving two related challenges of raising revenue to settle the 12.9 billion or 30% of Gauteng contribution of absorbing the e-toll debt as was announced by the Minister of Finance in the 2022 medium-term budget policy statement. The House is too quiet. Madam Speaker, it is imperative and necessary that working together with national government, we bring to finality the implementation of the directive announced by the Minister of Finance in the 2022 MTBPS as it relates to the e-toll debt. To complete and conclude this policy pronouncement by the Minister of Finance, the countries should be switched off and be repurposed and repositioned for security, crime prevention, and roads-related law enforcement services. It is in this context that as a province, we are strengthening our revenue generation capacity to put a compelling case to national government to switch off the countries in the province. We reaffirm our long-standing commitment to pay the debt, including augmenting our own provincial revenue without burdening the equitable share, especially priorities for social services such as education, health, and social welfare. We believe, honorable members, the time is now to conclude the modalities of the settlement of the e-toll debt. To this extent, we will submit our concrete proposal to national government before the 15th of December 2023. We will expect feedback and finality before the State of the Province address. Next year, we will update the people of the province, Honorable Premier, on this proposal. What will national government say about it? I'd like to assure you, honorable members, let me look this side. I'd like to assure you, honorable members, that in the discussions that we have had with national government on the matter of e-tolls, it is for the first time that we are discussing payment modalities. All along we have been discussing where to find money, how can we best deal with this. Now we are saying, national government, this is how we want to pay that the 30% or 13 billion that minister has announced. So I'd like to assure you that we will be giving a proposal on the payment modalities. But let me say this to you, honorable members, that it is very much tempting to share with you what we will put in the proposal and how we are going to deal with that. But we will not want to negotiate with national government from this platform. Allow us to table. We will update you once. Thank you very much. I can see honorable members. Now, honorable members, our medium to long-term strategy for revenue generation includes the establishment of the state-owned bank and the pharmaceutical company as part of our interventions to improve the capacity of the state. Currently, the Gauteng provincial government budget is more focused on social services with a small percentage funding economic interventions, particularly economic infrastructure. Given the fact that we are an economic hub of the country, we need more resources that are commensurate to the total value of Gauteng's economy. This is also critical to diversify, transform, and broaden the base of financial services and inclusion to provide credit facilities and to deal with the issue of the ecosystem for financing our SMMEs, especially the township entrepreneurs. Following our thorough legal due diligence on the establishment of the provincial state-owned bank and the various alternatives that the legal opinion or due diligence provided on the type and model of the bank, we presented these options to the Executive Council in September this year. I'm therefore pleased, honorable members, to announce that after EXCO applied its mind on the options, it resolved to adopt a development finance bank as the best model to lay the foundation for other options in the legal due diligence moving forward. We believe that this bank will play a critical role in mobilizing development finance to augment our limited resources while also providing other financial services for our SMMEs. Now, let me explain, honorable members, that a bank doesn't have to be a deposit-taking bank to be a bank, just for pre-education. Now, honorable members, there are many options in the due diligence will be implemented as we move forward. Another major intervention to this, which we believe will improve the delivery of pharmaceutical and medical products, is the state-owned pharmaceutical company, which we also believe has a great potential to generate sustainable revenue for the provincial government. In this regard, let me take the opportunity to thank the advisory panel, led by Mr. Amos Munyela, for the good work that they are doing as part of the consultation process towards the establishment of the pharmaceutical company. With respect to these two entities, we have approached the markets already to solicit competent skills and technical know-how to conclude the business case as a critical area of full compliance with the legislative framework, such as the PFMA and the Public Service Act, just to mention but a few. We are confident that by the end of the financial year, we would have submitted sound, compelling, fully compliant business cases for both entities for consideration by national government. Honorable members, coming to the rents and cents of the adjustment. And cheers, honorable members. Honorable members, the adjustment budget allows for changes to the main appropriation, primarily in response to unforeseen and unavoidable circumstances. Together with the provincial equitable share and the conditional grant rollovers, plus targeted allocations towards expediting progress in accomplishing the 5 elevated priorities of the GGT 2030 as the 6th administration draws to a close. The 2023 main budget is today being adjusted by a net 4.5 billion, from increasing it from 158.9 billion to 163.5 billion. The net adjustment consists of allocations of the rollovers, national and provincial funding as follows. In other words, honorable members, the money we're adjusting this budget, 4.5 billion, we are sourcing it from what we're getting on the wage settlement from national, the conditional grants that have been reduced, as I've already spoken to that, but also the rollovers of both the equitable share and conditional grants, and of course, our own provincial funding. All that, and of course, the net effect of that is what we're adjusting this budget for. Honorable members, the adjustment budget is seldom about the introduction of new priorities. We are not presenting a new budget. We are simply adjusting the budget that we have already presented. It is primarily about providing for unforeseen and unavoidable expenditure, as well as formalization of commitments that were not penciled into the main appropriation, such as the energy projects, for which consideration has been given to those that will achieve effective, efficient, economical and transparent use of resources. In other words, value for money. Therefore, the following departments have made a case for unforeseen and unavoidable circumstances, and therefore receive additional resources as follows. The Office of the Premier, and honorable members, the Office of the Premier passed the criteria. We are adjusting the budget. It passed the Premier. The Office of the Premier, honorable members, is receiving a total amount of 86 million, and of which 79 million is for the life estimate claims, and 7 million is for a commission of inquiry that has been established. The 79 million for life estimate is to settle the claims for mental health care users as well as legal fees. The 7 million is for a commission of inquiry into the Usindiso building fire that resulted in 77 deaths and injury to many people in Marshalltown, Johannesburg, on the 31st August 2023, and may their soul rest in eternal peace. Another department, honorable members, that has passed the test is the Gauteng Department of Health. MEC, the department, is receiving an amount of 2.5 billion allocated to the department to respond to the cost of implementing the 2023 wage agreement for public servants. We must protect our frontline services, and that's why the MEC is receiving this amount of money. Another department that is receiving an increase, and that has passed the test, the criteria, is the Gauteng Department of Social Development. The department receives an additional amount of 70 million for the acquisition of a new building which will be repurposed into a shelter for the homeless. The Gauteng Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs has passed the test. The department received an amount of 441 million earmarked for energy projects within the province, working with City Power within the context of the MOU that has been concluded between the province and the entity. I think City Power, you can see why we want to appoint a transaction advisor. We are giving you this money to support our province. And we are confident that you'll spend it well. We are very confident. Honorable members, another department that has passed the test is the Gauteng Department of Human Settlements. The department receives a total additional amount of 160 million for interim sanitation services, including chemical toilets, and honeysuckers. The other department that has passed the test, and honorable members, this is not related to the fact that I was in this department, it passed the test, is the Department of Roads and Transport. The MEC has made a case for a total amount of 80.7 million, which is allocated, of which 25 million is for the payment of municipal services. And I hope the MMCs of finance can hear. This is for municipal services. And 55.7 million additional funding is allocated for several items, including gazetting of operating licensing, new number plates project, the expansion of frontline services to teach as part of revenue incentives. Furthermore, an amount of 40 million is, this is very important, honorable members. Furthermore, an amount of 40 million is reallocated from the Department of Community Safety to the Department of Roads and Transport to operationalize the provincial integrated command center as part of the function shift and suspensions. And this is going to support our crime fighting initiatives and support the crime wardens premier. This is a very important intervention to strengthen our fight, our crime fighting capacity. The premier, I'm happy to say to you, you have been saying command center, we are now giving 40 million. Honorable Premier, Christmas gift. Now let me also say, honorable members, the Gauteng Department of Community Safety, there's an amount of 10 million which has been reallocated to the department from receivables to reimburse the department from receipts from the SANRAL that were surrendered to the Provincial Revenue Fund at the end of 2022-2023 financial year. Another department that has passed that, honorable members, I'll come to the legislature. I can see you are worried about the legislature. The Gauteng Department of Agriculture and Rural Development has made a case. The MEC has really motivated, and we have agreed that an amount of 159.1 million is availed for wages, unemployment insurance fund, and compensation for occupational injuries and disease act for Green Army EPWP program NASISPANE. The department has recruited 6,000 EPWP Green Army to participate in the Kibu to Gauteng Clean and Green program NASISPANE. The EPWP participants will reduce poverty and unemployment, including skills development for the poor citizens of Gauteng, particularly in teach areas. Gauteng Department of Sports, Arts, Culture and Recreation, I must say MEC, has also made a compelling case. The department receives a total additional amount of 37 million, of which 10 million is for the Gauteng Film Summit to support the development of filmmakers and to empower creatives to be sustainable entrepreneurs. 20 million is for the gig trucks to be used by all Gauteng government departments, especially within townships, informal settlements, and hostel areas. We must commend the MEC for this very decisive intervention. The remaining 7 million is for the Monati December program to improve social cohesion and nation building and strengthen the battle against crime, corruption, vandalism, and lawlessness through commissioned and prescribed work. Another department, honorable members, that has made a compelling case to receive money is the Department of E-Government. The MEC has made a compelling case, and the department will receive 10 million additional funding allocated to the implementation of the e-panic button project. We are now giving money to this initiative. It will also strengthen our crime-fighting capacity. So we are giving this, and I would like to congratulate the MEC, Mzee Kumar. Another department that is receiving an adjustment is the Gauteng Department of Infrastructure Development. The MEC has made a very compelling case to receive a total amount of 429 million, of which 100 million is for operational leases and 329 million is earmarked for alternative energy projects, as we have already announced. Honorable members, the legislature honorable members, has not made a compelling case for us to increase the money. So the legislature gets 0. And we hope you'll still vote for the adjustment, honorable members. Honorable members, the MTBPS and the adjustment budgets that we are presenting today to the following. It sets out how this provincial government plans to achieve fiscal sustainability by reducing the budget deficit and stabilizing the debt to GDP ratio over the medium term. It supports growth by maintaining a sustainable fiscal stance and providing on-budget allocations to infrastructure and pro-growth policy priorities. It emphasizes that reducing fiscal and economic risks will be complemented by rapid and decisive implementation of reforms, including urgently addressing challenge of load shedding, improving the efficiency of social and economic services, and the capability of the state. In conclusion, honorable members, I would like to sincerely thank the Honorable Premier for his excellent leadership and guidance. Premier, it was tough, but thanks to you. Thank you, Honorable Premier. Thank you very much. I thought you'll give the Premier a round of applause to appreciate how the Premier has led us on this issue. Thank you very much, Premier. I extend my gratitude and appreciation to all the MECs in the Executive Council, taking account of those challenges, and of course the Premier's Budget Committee, which approved all the requests from the departments. Your active participation and valuable inputs are always welcomed, as it ensures that we allocate budgets with the needs of our people in mind. Thank you to both the Finance Portfolio Committee, the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, and of course, let me take this opportunity to thank them, both Honorable Malema, Honorable Kanyile, for their insights and oversight on budget and financial management matters. Let me thank the HOD, Ms. Mnyani, and of course the CEO, Mr. Siabi, and of course the team treasury, all our officials, all the DDGs. Thank you very much. Thank you for the excellent work you have done. Lastly, to the people of Gauteng, thank you very much. Thank you. That concludes our... And I'd like to hand this over to the Honorable. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. That concludes the business for the day. Our next meeting MEC, do you want us to pass this budget? Can you keep the decorum of the House, please? Okay. The next sitting will be on Monday, the 4th of December, 2023, at 10 hours sharp. The House is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mabani sweetheart. Ikeni mabani. Akayibona nekilobeti. Bendilele. Leyo ilokho ke ndiyayifuna. Ikantika na nezinto. Yeah.